All right, the question was, how would I do things differently if I had to lose 60 pounds over again? Hey, it's Mitch, CalFit Coaching. I lost 60 pounds over 2 decades ago, and I've helped over 1,500 people do similar things ever since. And if I had to lose 60 pounds all over again, I certainly wouldn't do it the same way because I made a ton of mistakes. And honestly, I made it way harder than it needed to be in retrospect. And that's part of the process and the journey, right? But if you're trying to lose weight, I want to help you avoid those same traps I fell into, do it in half the time, and do it in a way that's a lot more enjoyable for you along the process. Okay. So let's break it down. Okay. First mistake was cutting out entire food groups. Early on, I bought into the idea that certain foods were bad, had to be completely eliminated. Certainly I went down the no carb approach, no sugar, no dairy, basically no fun. But the truth is, cutting out entire food groups only made me miserable. It led to binge eating later. It led to initial fat loss, which was cool, but I always had a rebound. I'd lose 10, gain 10. And I was on this roller coaster, the yo-yo cycle that so many of us fall in the trap in, because I didn't build out a sustainable plan from day one. So what I do today, instead, we focus on the 80-20 rule. 80% nutritious foods, 20% fun foods. I don't call them bad or good, but we know intuitively what those good foods are, and I make that the base: whole foods, proteins, veggies, some starch, some fruit, and 20% fun stuff. A meal out on the weekend, a fudge bar after dinner, some popcorn, like fun foods that I can still kind of fit within my framework. I would certainly prioritize protein and fiber though to stay full, because I've got an appetite that's built in someone that gained a lot of weight. It was 260 pounds. That's still there. So I need to kind of hack my hunger a bit by focusing on foods that really fill up your gut. It's an easy visual, right? You've got, the highly processed Coke, it barely fits, it doesn't take up any space in your stomach, versus a big ass salad with less calories that has a ton of volume, takes more time to chew, takes up a lot more room in your gut. All right. So lastly is to remove the guilt around food, because sustainability beats perfection every time. And it took me a long time to figure out that lesson. All right. So by the way, the link in the description will help you set up your optimal fat loss or muscle gain, whatever your focus is right now, your nutrition targets without cutting out entire food groups. Super helpful. Cheat sheet, free of charge for you. Number 2 is sacrificing sleep to go to the gym. I used to think the more exercise, the better. I'd wake up at 5 a.m., do a run, hit the gym, but it meant getting like 4 or 5 hours of disrupted sleep. And guess what? Chronic sleep deprivation actually made the process way harder. As soon as I prioritized sleep, even though I was moving less, I got better results. And the science is pretty clear here. You lose a higher percentage of muscle when you're sleep deprived, even if you're cutting calories at the same rate, if you're getting more sleep. Okay. So prioritize that sleep, 7 to 8 hours for the vast majority of us. What it does is, obviously you understand how good you feel when you sleep. You have more willpower to start the day. Your battery isn't always, drained. You don't have as much cravings, more energy. And then just focus on overall movement. You don't have to obsess about going to the gym 2 hours a day. Unless you're a professional bodybuilder, there's no reason to do that. And I'll get into that in a sec. Because that's the next one. It's just spending too much time at the gym. Like, you've got other priorities, family, I would expect, a career you want to thrive in. If you're taking too much time away from those pursuits, trying to lose a bit more fat, it's a bad trade, right? So and especially now that I know, the more time in the gym doesn't necessarily mean better results. What I do instead is, for me now, 4 days of strength training at my home gym, in and out 30 to 45 minutes, focused on progressive overload, trying to get stronger over time, not trying to burn a bunch of calories or sweat hard or feel really accomplished coming out of that workout that the rest of the day I'm drained. Okay. I would do 20 to 30 minutes of cardio, but usually broken up into 10-minute micro walks where I can habit stack, where I can do, a business call while on my walking pad, right? Or a phone call. And just making workouts more efficient. Takes the pressure off, for one, having to carve out so much time in your day to do this, but it's more effective in the end because you don't burn out. You can stick to it. Number 4, being solely scale focused. I lived and died by the number on the scale. If it went down, I was happy. If it didn't, I'd spiral. And we know that weight fluctuates daily. And if we only focus on that as a measure of progress or not, it's going to get in our head. It's going to frustrate us. We're going to self-sabotage. So what I do instead, like I do with our clients, is track progress pictures, measurements, strength gains. If someone has access to like a DEXA scan, certainly that's helpful, but not the be all end all. How your clothes fit, how you feel, how you look in the mirror, that is as telling as anything. Just remember, weekly average matters more than like random numbers. So if you insist on weighing in, which is cool, Monday, Wednesday, Friday minimum, get a weekly average, compare it to the previous week. That's going to at least show you some trends. Body recomposition, though, always trumps weight loss in the end. Number 5, shiny object syndrome. Every week back in the day, I'd chase a new diet or workout plan. I'd be on the bodybuilding boards. I did keto before it was cool. I certainly dabbled in fasting, a lot of different training modalities, HIIT, F45, CrossFit. It wasn't even F45 at the time. Name escapes me. But constantly switching up things meant I never really stuck with anything long enough to like measure progress. What I do instead is like stick to the basics, the foundational big 5 habits I talk about all the time in this space. Get your calories and protein in check, your movement, your sleep, your steps, your water intake. And then from a strength training perspective, avoid jumping around from program to program. Consistency beats novelty. You need to be able to track like your weights used and get better in terms of how you're lifting, your form, your rep cadence. And progressive overload is the name of the game, right? Just getting a bit stronger or adding a few more reps over time. Boring works best. All right. So at the end of the day, fat loss doesn't have to be miserable. If I had to do it again, I'd focus on habits that are sustainable from day one for life, not the quick results, hacks that seem awfully sexy in the moment, but end up costing you in the long run. So what's one mistake you've made in your fitness journey? I'd love to hear it in the comments, because there's a lot that I've done in the past that looking back, I shake my head, all the thousands of dollars spent on supplements, all the wasted time on fad diets and extremes. And if you want a step-by-step plan without the extreme dieting, check out the free resources in the description below, or book a call to talk one-on-one coaching, certainly if you're ready to bypass the DIY. And don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you don't miss future episodes and videos. I want to help you make this journey simple, sustainable, and actually enjoyable from someone who's done it, lost 60 pounds over 2 decades ago, kept it off. I'm certainly not perfect to this day, but I'm able to keep it that way because I've understood the structure and we've helped over 1,500 people do the same. See you next time.